last time.
No, could be.
Did they change?
I always wear these shirts. How's it going, everybody? We'll just give her a minute here to make sure everything's working. Can everybody hear me good? I'm guessing so. Tim's here. Charles is here. How's it going, Tim? Glad you could swing by. I am doing great, Charles. How about you? Glad you guys can make it. We're gonna try something a little bit different tonight. We're gonna do kind of a 2-for-1. Do a bit of a trapping talk and a kind of a farm talk on the same time. Yeah. Okay, Tim says he can hear me good. Charles says he can hear me. That's good. Everybody's doing good. Excellent. So yeah, we got a few new updates here on the farm in the last week. I think it was about a week ago tomorrow night that I talked to you guys last. So yeah, it's been a minute. So I figured I'd get on here tonight and give you guys a little bit of an update. Yeah, a bit going on the farm, and it's only going to get busier. And as for the trapping, kind of the opposite. She's been slow and she's dying down pretty quick. So, how's it going, Wyatt? Glad you could stop by. Anybody missed Wyatt's last video there, Tubby Guy Outdoors? You missed a good one. He did a Taco Tuesday video. Made some taco bites out of deer meat, and I tell you, I'm not much for watching Martha Stewart or any of those kind of cooking shows, but Wyatt's got something on Rachel Ray for sure. Don't ask me how I know all these names either. Well, by the time I was done watching his video there, I just about went out and shot a deer off my lawn just because it made me hungry. Yeah, I've definitely heard the storm coming there, Tim. But I think we're going to be north of the storm, northeast of it. I think it's going to go south of us. So, but as far as I know, they don't even really know exactly where it's going to go as of just yet. It is supposed to be going through sometime tonight and into tomorrow, so it'll be interesting to see what we get hit with. Whether or not we get any snow out of it or not, I don't know. Yeah, it might make its way east of us and get up towards Wyatt there. I don't know. To be honest, I haven't even been following it a whole lot, but my dad was talking about it a bit, and I did see a little bit of it on the weather network there online. But this late in the game, I'm not too worried about snowstorms. Yeah, 20 to 40 centimeters would be a bit of a storm. And I think they're calling for winds too, eh? Which, I mean, you put that much snow with winds and you could have a pretty bad storm on your hands pretty quick. 40 centimeters, that's like, what, 16 inches of snow or something? And yeah, that wouldn't be good. So yeah, just that time of year, spring, springtime on the farm is kind of our ramping up stage for the farm. Winter is kind of I would say winter is our quietest time of year. A ton of the day-to-day stuff, but with calving starting next week, that usually entails getting up about 2 o'clock in the morning, possibly every morning or every night, whatever you want to call it, just to go and check on the cows. Last year I only got up a couple times in the middle of the night. Everything else was calving during the day. So we lucked out last year, but what was it, 2 years before that, I was up, I don't know, out of 30 nights, I think I was up like 20 of them or something. So it definitely gets long by the time we're all done. But yeah, usually if a cow's looking like it's going to start calving over the nighttime hours, I usually get up kind of. If I go down and check them at 10 o'clock and I like to be back out there by 8 o'clock, I usually head out around 2 o'clock in the morning. It kind of splits it in half. So I don't know. Yeah. Because we have lost calves due to just bad birthing positions outside. Usually if we can tell that a cow is going to calve, we throw it in the barn. But yeah, we have come home from the city there and found a cow that had calved, and the calf had been born folded in half. It ended up coming out laying on its head and ended up suffocating. So had we been there, we could have been, possibly able to save it. So when you're talking about your livelihood, you kind of have to get up, check on stuff like that. So yeah. Yeah, we'll jump into the trapping side of stuff first. I know most of you guys that are on here are going to be more inclined to want to watch the trapping side of the talk. So I'm going to start with trapping, and then we'll go into the farming stuff after. That way, if I lose anybody's interest, it's not right off the bat, hopefully. So last coyote I caught was up at my brother-in-law's place. I'm sure most of you guys have seen the video already. I went up, what was that, Sunday? I think it was Sunday. Went up, checked the snares, and there was nothing at the sand pit once again, and went up to my brother-in-law's place and ended up catching a nice female coyote. At first I thought it was pretty small, which, I mean, it was kind of small, but it stretched to be a 2X. So on the stretching board, it was a good size. But she just seemed like a smaller dog. But anyway, got up there. It was the first time that I had been there since we had gotten hit with the last big storm, which consisted about 6 inches of snow and 50-kilometer-an-hour winds. So in the bush, the wind didn't really play a factor too much, but we did get the 6 inches of snow up in the bush. And so when I was heading in, I wasn't too positive, if you will. I figured all my snares were going to be, half in the snow or whatever. And so I got up there, and as I got to the bait pile, I could see the cable stretched tight, and I was really hoping that it was a coyote, and sure enough, it was. And because I had left the house in a state of mind that I didn't think I was going to be catching anything, I didn't bring my cable cutters. And if you guys did watch the video, you'll hear it maybe in my voice how disappointed I was by not doing so. Adam Moggy, good man. First time I believe that Adam stopped by, if I'm not mistaken. Glad to have you here. Thanks for stopping by. Adam does a Snare Masters. It's a Facebook page. Obviously, Snare Masters, snaring animals. So yeah, if you guys want to go and check that out on Facebook, make sure you guys head over there and check it out. It's if I'm not mistaken, I know I just joined, I don't know, probably in the last month or so, and I think it's a relatively new page, but it's a great page if you guys want to go and check it out. So yeah, I was really lucky though with that coyote. She got caught. She did a couple loops around a little balsam tree, and that was it. It looked like she didn't put up much of a struggle at all, and she was dead, which was a bit of a bonus. I think that was like the third coyote this year, so not real good. Out of 28 coyotes, I've had 3 that are dead. But anyway, she is what she is. Yeah, so I was able to just kind of unwrap her around the tree, and then lucky enough, the cable was kind of froze into her skin a bit, but I was able to undo work the cable. Took me probably 5 minutes or so, but worked the cable in the lock enough that I was able to open the loop and get her out. She hadn't kinked the cable, so I was able to get her out that way. Checked the rest of the snares. There was nothing else. And then I was heading back home, and I picked up a nice big boar raccoon in a nice coyote snare. I had set that snare about 2 weeks ago, and it was a really nice coyote trail. It was beaded down pretty good. It was coming down off a nice sandy hill. It's got a big pine plantation up there, and they were coming running down the side of the hill, across the snow machine trail, and then down. And anyway, beautiful trail, So when I set it, I drove past the trail 10 yards, walked down through the bush, came to the trail at a 90 degrees, worked off the side, there was a beautiful little pinch point. There was a nice big tree here, and then a little bit of brush over here, and just a perfect pinch point. And anyway, got my snare hung. I thought for sure this is going to get me a coyote this year. And so anyway, when I pulled up there, I had a dirty old raccoon. I don't know. It is what it is. But yeah. So, but again, didn't have my cable cutters, and this thing was actually still live. I had hip snared it, which I don't really know how, because even driving by that snare for the last 2 weeks, every time I drove by, I thought, man, that seems a little bit high. Like it was probably pushing more like a 14-inch off the ground. So I thought, that's pretty high. But I left it because I thought, for me to go down there and kind of disturb it or whatever, I didn't feel like that outweighed the height. So had it been too low, yeah, I would have went down and fixed it, but too high is all right. So anyway, yeah, so I don't know how the raccoon got in there. Not to mention, at the time, From when I had checked last, we didn't get anything that was warmer than like -5. So I don't really know how the raccoon was out and about, strolling through that kind of temperatures. But anyway, so I shot him, and I thought, okay, I'm going to try and do what I did with that coyote. But he had kinked and made a mess of that snare, like unbelievable. So I'm sitting down there trying to figure out how to get him out, and went to the snow machine, checked everything, seen if I had any sort of cutters. I had one more 22 shell left with me. So yeah, it's kind of like an ongoing thing, not a joke, but whatever. Kind of a joke. I just never carry many shells. I don't know why. I just usually throw a few in my pocket, and then I use them up here and there. And then usually it comes a time where I need 3 shells and I only got one. But anyway, so what I did was I aimed at the cable. I didn't put it right at the tip of the barrel because I wasn't exactly sure, what that might do. So I held it away a couple inches and shot it, and it blew the cable right apart. So yeah, I was incredibly lucky on that one. So then I was able to get the raccoon and hit her home. So it worked out. It worked out all right. So I'm just reading back through the comments here. Adam says, skinned 2 myself today. 2 coyotes, I'm assuming. I'm not sure. I know I seen on Facebook there that he's been hitting the coyotes pretty good. Yeah, 22 shells are expensive. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I got a box of like 50 sitting in my truck, but yeah, like I said, I only throw a few in my pocket. My dad's always bugging me because he's been with me when, like I said, the one time I had caught 3 live coyotes, and I only had, I think, 2 shells. So needless to say, we had to go caveman style on the third coyote, but it is what it is. Oh, raccoon. Okay. So Adam did 2 raccoons today. They're greasy. Man, like they're easy enough to flesh, you know what I mean? Like to push the stuff off, but they're just such a mess. Like just disgusting. I mean, I even freeze my hides. Like I don't freeze them, but I put them upstairs in my garage where it's cold, and I let the fat set up overnight. Like I mean, it's freezing up there, and so when I flesh them, like it's rock solid pretty near, but still, like by the time I'm done fleshing, it's thawed out, and it's still just it's like water running down your fleshing beam. I don't know. I hate doing them. But it is what it is. They need to make a cricket with an extended mag. Yeah, that would work out all right. Sawdust it. You know what? Yeah, I tried that a long time ago. Actually, when I first started out trapping, I tried the sawdust thing. I didn't find it worked for me, but mind you, I was very brand new at flushing at that point, so I wasn't getting my hides cold or anything like that. So, but yeah, I mean, I'd definitely be willing on trying the sawdust thing again. Um, I wonder when you. That's one thing I've always thought about when you ship your hides, um, and it's got that sawdust on the flesh side still. Because even like once you scrape it, I found like the sawdust still sticks to the the leather side. Sorry, and I was just wondering if that would affect your grading at all. I don't know, but yeah. but yeah, so that last coyote that I did get, she was in really good shape. Really nice long guard hairs. No sign of rubbing on her at all. I gave her a good comb over, and hardly any hair came out. So I don't think they're shedding at all. She had really good colors. Everything was perfect on her. So as of then, yeah, there's definitely no reason to start pulling snares yet. They're still looking good. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm really just trying to get these last two coyotes to make my 30. I'm like, if I go tomorrow and pick up two coyotes, am I pulling? No, I'm not probably pulling just yet, but no. But what I'm saying is, I'd really like to get these last two coyotes in the next week or so, but we'll have to see. Yeah, the last time Dad and I went out to check snares, which was it Saturday? Yeah, I guess it was Saturday.
Or did you go by yourself on Sunday?
Got a bit of a horn going on up there. I hope so, Wyatt. I hope so. I mean, I'm just ecstatic that I got over 20, to be honest. But now being so close to 30, it's kind of like I really want to get there. But yeah. So last time Dad and I went out, we went to Dale's, and that last storm kind of put driving into Dale's over the edge. So we ended up getting there and parking on the road and walking in, which, I mean, it's not a far walk or anything. But anyway, there had been like zero sign of coyotes for like a month. Like that bait site had been incredibly dead. It was fairly active back in December, early January, and then kind of early mid-January it died. And yeah, it was, there'd be the odd time where a coyote would come through, not even head to the gut piles, just it would just walk through. So there was a bobcat still hanging around. To be honest, I'm not even sure why I hung around in there as long as I did. So anyway, we went in there to pull snares because, like I said, it had been since like early mid-January that we had seen signs of coyotes in there. And so we went in and we pulled snares. The unfortunate part is there was probably 4 or 5 coyotes that came through since we had checked the previous time. So it made it kind of hard to go through there and pull all those snares. Not that we had that many. I think there was like maybe a dozen in there. But yeah. So it was a bit of a tough decision. Once we got in there and we started seeing the sign, it was like, do we stay? Do we, what do we do? So we ended up making the executive decision and pulling out. The thing is, after all that snow, my snares were definitely buried. I had not been really maintaining them in there. I'd been going and checking, but I hadn't been like lifting them, or you know what I mean? So they were getting lower and lower all the time. And after that last big storm, it really put them over the edge. They were pretty much inoperable. The bottom of the loop was touching the snow, so it just wasn't good. So even if I wanted to stay in there, it was going to mean that I was going to have to go through, make all new trails, and lift all my snares and blah blah. And I kind of thought this late in the game, you know, are the Coyotes going to react to me being in there and tromping around, you know, going through every snare, blah, 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 and making all that scent and just all the commotion? Are they going to come back, and are they going to, you know, just run the trails? And I just kind of thought, you know, for 2 weekish, you know, left for trapping for me, is it worth going through all that and doing it? I didn't think it was, so we did. We pulled out. Looking back, I'm a little bit disappointed. Not so much that we pulled out, but I mean, I'm disappointed that they showed up so late. Had it been, you know, a couple weeks ago, I would have reset everything and we would have gave her another good solid go. But I just felt that this late in the game, it probably wasn't worth resetting everything. So just today, though, I'm like, man, maybe I should go back in there, you know, and see, you know, if they've been back and, you know, are they hammering down trails? I don't know. You guys know what it's like. Your imagination just goes kind of crazy there. So, but yeah, so we're out of there, and you know, it's not that it was a bad spot. It's a good location. The bush is perfect for it. There's a nice little pond there, and it's a good setup, easy to get to. But I think next year will prove even better there. We got 3 coyotes and 2 cats from that spot, which isn't horrible. You know what I mean? It definitely paid for itself this year. But I feel like the potential there is greater than what it was. So I think by baiting, you know, maybe throughout the summer or definitely, you know, early fall next year, and kind of get a bait established. Like, this was our first year. We literally baited, and a week later we went and hung snares, and we were in there. You know what I mean? So I'm really hoping that next year, by getting in there, getting a bait kind of established, you know, well before season, we'll get the coyotes in there and a lot more active. So M&M Outdoors shows up. How's it going? It's going good. But yeah, so it'll all depend. But I'm hoping, I got big hopes for next year for that spot.
Going for 40.
Next year going for 40. No, if I go for 40, I'm gonna have to start finding more spots. Which, you know what, I definitely would. The only thing is, I gotta find a better supply of bait to run any more baits than I am now. Just, I can't do it without finding more bait. Anyway, and I'm not really interested in stockpiling like roadkill deer and that. That's not gonna go well over here.
With me, you mean?
Yeah, you too. But yeah, so here's hoping for next year. Let's see, where are we? Yeah. Oh, and that's the other thing. I mean, by pulling out of there and seeing that, you know, there was, you know, a few coyotes that had just run through. Obviously, you know, there's going to be coyotes. Yeah, exactly. There's Tim, exactly. 40. Heck yeah. 40 would be amazing. But that's a long way away. Next season. Here it is. Here we go. Yeah. So this year, I know everybody on my videos and that, they're commenting saying, you know, 2 to go, easy, you know, you'll get it. I don't know. I did have a coyote come through our own property here back in the back. It didn't look like it really hung around a whole lot. Kind of came through from the neighbor's property. came onto ours like 40 yards, did a little circle and went back. So I don't know what happened there, but anyway, there is a coyote back there still. I mean, I know there's coyotes all over still, but anyway, there is one still back there. So hopefully we can pick that one up. And I mean, I still got faith in my brother's place. And actually, it seemed like maybe it was picking up, in Jordan's and the sand pit. So we'll have to see how it goes, though. Wow. That sucks. Losing a coyote always. I think I told you guys this, but at the beginning of the season, like at the very beginning of the season, Dad and I went back to Jordan's, my brother-in-law's place, and to check there. And I had a snare on a drag, and the snow at the time, we didn't have really any snow. We were still driving up there with the pickup truck. And there was a couple inches of snow, and it was rock hard. It was old, crusty snow. And anyway, got the coyote caught in the drag pole, and we could see the odd spot where it had dragged. So we went that direction. We fanned out. We did grid patterns. We even went the opposite way. We looked all over. We were in there for like hours, and we never did find it. And I tell you, that made me sick. It's not the exact same as M&M Outdoors, as the way he lost his. I've lost coyotes that way too, where they break the cable or whatever, the snare malfunctions somehow. But losing a coyote in a snare on a drag, knowing that the coyote is still caught, you can't find him. Yeah, it sucks like big time. Because I mean, nobody wants to, lose a coyote, especially that way. Like, you don't know how he's going about things. And anyway, I'll just leave that there. Yeah, you know what? I make my own snares too, M&M, and I used to always, hammer my furrows shut just on an anvil and with a regular hammer. And then I ended up getting a actual, what are those called? Crimpers, ferrule crimpers. Swagger. I ended up getting an actual swagger, and now I double crimp all my furrows. So yeah, I haven't had one come apart. Knock on wood, but yeah. NST, or sorry, I said that last time. NS Trapper. I don't know why I read that as NST. Oh goodness. Anyway, Barry, how's it going? Everything is going good here. Hope everything's going good with you. Yeah. No, I know once it comes this time of year, yeah, exactly. The coyotes can be it's almost like a 50-50 as to whether or not they're worth keeping or not. I've definitely about 2 years ago, I think it was 2 seasons ago, I started running into some pretty bad dogs pretty quick this time of year. It might have been, I think it was actually more into March, but yeah, it does happen pretty quick. Once that spring hits them, that's pretty much it. It goes pretty quick. Arbor Press, okay. Yeah, well, that would work all right too. Yeah, so where was I? Yeah, 2 to go. Not looking good. She's just not looking good. But, oh well. You never know what's going to happen. Ended up going this morning, getting some firewood. Got 2 loads with the snow machine today. I need about another 2 loads at least to fill what's my little spot there in the garage. Probably won't be burning a whole lot of wood in March. I don't have it, obviously I'm not going to be drying a ton of furs anymore. And not to mention, it's turning warmer. Not right now. We've had incredibly warm weather this past weekend, right up through until today. And but now it's starting to go back to, -5, -8 during the day, and -15 at night, right through until I believe early next week. And then looks like it's going to warm up again. So.
You saw Robin.
Oh, oh, I did. I did. I got very excited there. I saw my first robin today for 2020. It was a little guy. Not a little guy, but yeah, a little guy.
It was robin size.
It was a robin size, but it was small on the robin size. And he looked mighty cold. It was this morning, sun was shining, and it was still minus, 3 or 4 degrees out. And he was sitting in the crabapple tree eating crab apples. And yeah, I even got pictures. If you guys are friends with me on Facebook, you guys seen that I took some pictures of it. And just because I didn't think anybody would believe me that there was a robin February 25th, you know what I mean? But there was. So
Barry said your picture was better than his.
Yeah, well, I don't believe it, or I don't doubt it. Last year what I got was a huge male, beautiful fur head. I'm getting it tan, skinned out the feet. Super excited to get it done. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's always cool when you skin out the feet and everything too. Leave the claws on. That always looks really nice. Yeah. That's awesome. Did you end up weighing them, Adam? Nice big dog like that. Yeah, that's one that you want to get tanned for sure. M&M season is over next Sunday. Yeah, so we don't have our for canines here, coyote, fox, and wolves. It's open 365. So it's just a matter of when you want to stop skinning coyotes, more or less, really. So, yeah. Yeah, hopefully you bump out a few more there before next Sunday. Spring has arrived here. No snow and getting up to double numbers days. Robins stay around here all year. Woof. Really? Barry, what would the coldest, what would your average winter temperature be out there? And what would your average snowfall be for the year? Too soon still have some ice fishing to do. Oh, you got at least a month of ice fishing to do still, I would say. I know it can turn pretty quick, but I would think that you'd have well into March, first 3 weeks of March or so. Oh, nice. New location, new snares. You'll get a few. You'll get a few before next Sunday. Okay, let me think about this. How many acres do I snare? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 500. I trap 500 acres. And when I say 500 acres,
You have permission.
what?
You have permission to trap that much.
Yeah, I have permission to trap 500 acres. But The most I did, I think I did like 1,200 acres in one season, one time. That was way back when, though. And that was like beaver swamps and, trapping beavers and otters, along with the wolves and the coyotes and that. But yeah, so 500 acres. And I know that might sound like a lot, but like up at my brother-in-law's, let's say his 100 acres, it's one bait pile. Like I'm not all over that 100-acre lot. Like I'm literally, yeah, like I mean, I'm literally trapping like maybe 2 acres. Pretty much all my bait sites, right? Like that's what it is. It's like an acre, 2 acres out of the 100-acre lot that I'm actually trapping. So I know 500 sounds like a lot, but I mean, I'm not all over on the properties, right? Yeah, so it's not like I have like little lines, like little trap lines on each property. Like I'm very, if you had your lot like that, like I'm just a little tiny corner over here. I don't even know what's happening so much over here because when I put my bait pile, here, I'm just more or less hoping and relying on pulling all the coyotes, even from surrounding properties, right, to that one location where I've got my trap. So, anyway, that's what it is. Location. That's exactly it. Yeah. And that's the nice thing with bait piles is location, 100%. And when you have a bait pile, I mean, you still have to be in a good location, but man, a bait pile literally just pulls the dogs in from all over, right? Like, and that's why if you can start setting up bait piles well ahead of actually setting traps, it is just so effective. So effective. The dogs just get so used to coming in and eating at that one spot. They use the same trails. At one bait, if you have half a dozen good trails coming in, I mean, you're laughing. I mean, you set out snares all around, and I mean, you're going to be catching coyotes. I mean, anyway, I love baits. I love bait sites anyway. First year trapping, yeah, you know what? You're doing good. I mean, heck, first year trapping and you catch any coyotes is you're doing good. That's my opinion anyway. Because coyotes are one of the more trickier animals to catch. I mean, wolves are definitely hard, but coyotes is right up there. Exactly, Tim. They tell you where to set. 100%. Yeah. Oh yeah, we went up to my father-in-law's where he's logging right now, and so we went up there for a little drive this afternoon. Checked out that whole situation. Walked up on some of the big log piles there and scouted the scenery. Not really trapping related, just we were just out for a little drive and checking things out. Had the 2 kids with us, but yeah, pretty interesting up there. Lots of extra firewood, like from all the, I don't know, tops and butt ends and whatever, you know what I mean? Like when they cut the log to length, then they throw all the scraps, but I mean, these scraps are like 8 feet long. Some of them are 4. Some of them are pretty big though. Yeah, but like I'm talking, the 8 foots would be like all the bent ones or tops, that are 8 feet long, but they're all got like low branches. Anyway, lots of fire. She's always trying to argue with me. Anyway.
Fight?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I mean, if you catch a coyote on that trail, I mean, picture it like deer. I mean, you get a deer trail, and I mean, that's what the deer use, right? Coyotes are the exact same. You get a coyote trail, and I mean, pretty much every coyote that's coming through there is going to be on that trail. So yeah, exactly. You pick up after you catch, and you move 10 feet or whatever, one way or the other, and you're good to go again. So yeah. So I think that pretty much does it for the trapping side of things here. Got a little bit of smudge on my arm. It's not poop. It's soot. So I guess I'll jump over to the farm updates. Well, yeah, it is almost turkey season. That is a good time. Yeah. So trapping season. If I wrap that up 1st of March, end of April, turkey season, about a month and a half. Oof. Good times. Good times. Anyway, turkey season. We'll talk about turkey season more when turkey season's closer. Don't get all riled up over there. Yeah, so I'll jump over to farm side of things. Yeah, I see numbers are already starting to take a dive. Like nobody wants to talk farming anymore. Anyway, except for you. Want to talk goats?
You gonna buy me some?
No, I just bought you goats.
Who did?
Me. No turkeys much at all here. Yeah, wild turkeys are kind of one of those things where, as a farmer, you don't really like them. As a hunter, you like them. So it's, yeah, catch-22. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too, Wyatt. It's a good time. So, yeah, we ended up on not this, no, Friday. Friday, we went and picked up a Holstein calf.
Thursday, wasn't it?
No, it was Friday. Friday, we went and picked up a Holstein calf from my buddy's place. Yeah, Luke the Corn Star. I don't know if you guys watched that video. I know it got like 0 views. It got like, I don't know, it got like 60 or 80 views or something like that. It's actually a really good video. We put a lot of time and effort actually into making that video. It was last fall, and it's just a huge video about harvesting corn over on their dairy farm. Anyway, my buddy Luke, his parents own a dairy farm, and he works full time for them. And I am lucky enough to every once in a while they hire me to go and when they first moved here and they were building their brand new dairy barn, I was able to go and work on the new dairy barn for them. And last year they had me over there doing some haying for them. And then in the fall we did some corn silage, which was a whole brand new experience to me. I mean, I've done lots of haying, but corn silage was something totally new to me. So that was a lot of fun. But anyway, so I done this nice big video up of harvesting corn, and it just got hardly any views, which whatever, it is what it is. But anyway, yeah, it's, what is it called?
Something corn silage with Luke the Corn Star.
Yeah, harvesting corn or something like that with Luke the Corn Star. Anyway, if you guys don't mind going back, check that out. But yeah, it was a good video. Anyway, that Luke is the guy that we got.
You did a turkey hunt with him too.
Yeah, we did a turkey hunt together last spring. Cowboy and Indian Outfitters, I believe, is what it was called. But yeah. How are the goats doing? Yes, I'm going to get right into the goats here after this calf. I love the smell of brown corn silage. Yes, brown is good, black is not. Anyway, it's an inside joke here, but I'll check that out later. Thank you, Wyatt. I'll count on you. I'll be checking that video. If there's not a view by the time I talk to you guys live next, I'm gonna blame Wyatt for not going to check it out. Yeah, so that is the farm that we ended up getting the Holstein heifer calf from. It was born the day before we got it, and anyway, we went over there and we picked it up in the back of our van, which I know it doesn't make any sense. Why did you get a brand new truck if you're not gonna use it? It has nothing to do with using the brand new truck. I would have much rather used the truck to haul this calf, especially because it crapped in the back of our van. Which I mean, I had a tarp down, but still, it smeared its crap all over, and then it actually peed. And of course, by the time it peed, it had the tarp all. Anyway, old Van Gogh, she is what she is. Yeah,
She's a beaut.
she's a beaut. But yeah, we used to have a nice farm box for putting in the back of your truck and hauling stuff around in it, like small animals such as a calf. But anyway, we don't have that anymore, so not a big deal. But yeah, we're hoping to make another one, and because now obviously having our own truck, it'd be nice to have. Okay, I better catch up on some of these comments here. Miss having goats. Are you nuts, man? Miss having goats? Oh, I know. We have goats, but by we, I mean her. Jess has goats. I don't have goats.
You just have horses, eh?
No, I hate. Guys, honestly, I say I don't have enough bait for chopping, but if I had the green light, I'd be down there right now. I'd have 2 dead horses and a bunch of dead goats. The goats, I don't mind. Horses, I've got no use for horses, like zero use. Like those things are such a waste of everything.
Bait.
Air, hay, everything. Horses are useless and they're retarded. Anyway, I probably just hurt a bunch of people's feelings here. Let's see if the numbers drop. We got 8 watching now.
They're all excited. He's got 7 horses, Mike.
We've got 7. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of bait. As having goes, I've got big shoulders. Yeah. We own 450-acre dairy farm, so I grew up on the dairy myself, milked every day. That's a tough job, man. That is a tough job. I milked a bit when I was in my early 20s, and by a bit I mean like I milked maybe half a dozen times.
Only because there was girls hanging around the barn.
Yeah. At my buddy's dairy farm, another buddy, not Luke, but my other buddy's dairy farm, I ended up not working. I just was there hanging out. And I mean, as Eminem can tell you, if you're hanging out at a dairy farm, there's always enough to do that you don't just sit there and visit. You always are doing something. So I ended up helped out with milking a few times. And yeah, I mean, it's great. It's good work. I enjoyed it. But the idea of being there morning and night for the rest of your life is a pretty hard pill to swallow. Not saying it's not a good one, but kudos to the guys that do it for sure. It's a big job. Never been around dairy farms much, just beef cattle. We've got 7 horses. Yeah. Your horses pay your farm mortgage. I think you might be lying. That or you have, I don't know.
Tell me your ways.
Yeah, tell me your ways, old wise one. Yes, for sure. Let me in on the secret. Because mine definitely don't pay anything. They don't even pay their way at all. Got 2 horses and they might get rode like, what, 10 times a year? If that. Let's see. $200 a ride. Not bad. Pretty expensive, but not bad. Oh, there you go. Maybe it is boarding. We actually thought about boarding horses.
We don't like horse people.
$150 each a month for board. There you go. 150 times 7. Ooh, you are making some money on that. There you go. Yeah, no, honestly, we have thought about boarding horses. And I can't exactly remember all the issues that we kind of came up to as to the con side of it.
It's horse people.
But yeah, I think that's kind of really what it boiled down to was horse people. There's cow people, there's goat people, pig people, sheep people, alpaca people, and then there's horse people. And horse people, in my mind, are right up there with alpaca people. And anyway, I shouldn't get into this on here because we're just gonna start losing subscribers right and left. Anyway, I'm just gonna leave that. We're just gonna stop that conversation right there. Anyway, $150 a month for board. Awesome. That is a good idea. That is an excellent idea. -10 at night and around the freezing mark days. We don't get a lot of snow on average. Wow.
Did you ever finish the story about the calf?
Well, that sounds a lot better than here, Barry. We can go like 3 weeks straight at like -20 to -30. We've definitely seen I think -44 is the coldest I think I've seen. And as for snow, well, we can get, I don't even know what like total snowfall amount in a winter. I'd say probably average snowfall. I don't mean like accumulate like you go out in the field and how deep it is, but total snowfall, I would say like 10 feet probably. We had one snowstorm this year with 20 centimeters and it was gone in a few days. Oh my. Yeah, we had a snowstorm back in November. It was like November 4th. And we got like around 20 centimeters and we still got it. Yeah, so yeah, it sucks. It's like six months of winter. All right, Adam. Thanks for stopping by. We will see you for sure next time. Keep up the good work on Facebook there on the page. You're doing a good job. But yeah, so anyway, going back to this calf, got the calf from my buddy Luke. Well, actually his parents, and we got the calf. And the reason we got it was because Jess is milking, 2 goats? Yeah, 2 goats. She's got Nubian dairy goats. And so she's been milking them because they just kidded about 2 weeks ago. So she's been milking them, and she's getting a lot more milk than we would drink. So instead of just wasting it, obviously, which I mean, it wouldn't be wasted. The kids, the goat kids would drink it, which they are. But the goat kids are getting enough, plus we'll be getting enough, and there was still going to be enough left over that we needed to do something with. So it just made sense to get another bottle calf and put that milk into future either meat or whether we keep it and breed it. I don't know what we're going to do exactly yet, but it is a heifer calf, so the options are a lot more possible. There's a lot more options there with a heifer calf than just a bull or a steer calf. So anyway,
And we named her Nellie.
and we named her Nellie. Yes. Oh wow, yeah, yeah. Well, it doesn't sound like. Well, it sounds like you can get enough snow, but yeah, if it doesn't last very long, then yeah, snow machines would be pretty hard out there. Yeah, having somebody to show you the ropes for trapping is always a huge benefit. Yeah, huge benefit. So yeah, so we got the calf tied in the barn. Just a wee little thing. Like I said, it was brand new, and it was a very stinky ride home. I actually had my sister with me, and so yeah, she got to enjoy it too. But it was definitely, I don't know if you guys have ever smelled calf crap. Uh, it's incredibly disgusting. It's a foul smell. So we were locked in the van for, I don't know, 20 minutes with it. So yeah, but we got it home. It's doing good, and yeah, Jess actually said that she got it onto a pail there tonight. So that means the end of bottle feeding possibly. So that's always good. Yeah, and what was it? Sunday. Yeah, it was Sunday. Sunday, we ended up perhaps use the truck as intended, not a mall crawler, bud. Thank you, Wyatt. Thank you. I'm glad that you said that. Gotta be tough to keep the windows up. You have no idea. Yeah, I mean, yeah, long story with the whole truck thing, but it is what it is. I can always count on Wyatt. But yeah, so Sunday, Jess had some goats shipped up from Southern Ontario. Where'd you get them from?
Goodwood.
Goodwood area? I don't know. Anyway, we got them from Goodwood area. They were able to drive them over to Barrie area. And then we had a couple friends down past that doing some work down there. So then on their way home, they were able to stop in Barrie and meet up with these other people and bring our goats home. They had a stock trailer, and the guy was actually bringing home a bull and I think 4 horses. And so he was able to throw on these 2 kid goats. And so, yeah, so then we went over to his place late Sunday afternoon. And yes, with the truck, we ended up getting a extra large dog crate that we have. And we were kind of wondering why we didn't just do that with the calf. Anyway, like I said, big story with the whole calf truck, not truck, van, gross, stinky poop. A whole big story there. But I can't really get into it. Anyway, yeah, so Sunday we were able to put the extra large dog crate in the back of the truck, go over to his place and pick up the 2 kid goats. We got them home. They are currently in quarantine or whatever you want to call it. They're in another section of the barn all by themselves. They can't come into contact with any of the other goats. And the only reason for doing that, if anybody has farmed, whenever you bring something in from another farm, you're not 100% sure of any issues, any diseases that those goats could possibly be bringing in. So you like to quarantine them for, we usually do about 2 weeks. And then that usually kind of allows us, it allows us to see if there's any issues with the new animals, whether it's calves, cows, goats, pigs, sheep. No, we don't have sheep. But yeah, just kind of to make sure that, you know, you're not bringing in something that's going to wipe out the rest of your farm. We actually had that happen to us 5 years ago with goats. We had, what did you have, like 40 goats? Yeah, we had like 40 goats. And she brought in some new goats from another farm, and it turned out that they had like this incredibly deadly disease. We didn't know it. We didn't separate. We didn't quarantine, and threw them in with the other goats. And within like months, we ended up losing. Well, in the end, we were losing like a goat or two a day. So, needless to say, we quickly got them on a truck and we got them out of Dodge. We shipped them. We cut our loss and sold the works. And yeah, but that's kind of like a whole nother farm story. Yeah, there's always lots of stories on the farm, but yeah. So, but with these ones, in that first instance where we brought the goats in and it killed all of our, or a lot of our other goats, they weren't, what is it, CSA or CA? Tested. Yeah, we'll just say tested.
I didn't buy it.
Yeah, we didn't bring in our new breeding stock from tested herds, farms that do blood tests and things like that. So now, obviously, we learned our lesson the hard way. So now, including these 2 kid goats, we make sure that if and when we do bring in new stock, they are from tested farms, where the vet comes in, does blood tests, and runs all these tests to make sure that their herd is healthy and that they don't have all these different goat diseases that can be really passed on to other goats. So that's now when we buy goats, we make sure that everything is tested and approved. And yes, you do pay more for that, but at the same time, you also don't have a bunch of death and destruction and loss of money. Other than, I mean, you're buying goats, so you're losing money. But that's neither here nor there. In my lifetime. Yeah. Barry is happy to be pet free. He's glad he doesn't have goats anymore. Not even a dog.
That's depressing.
Man. Wow. That's it, eh? Just picked up and that's it. Done. Oh well. I can understand it. I do like having a dog around. The dog we got, I don't like having around, but I do like having a dog around. And as for cats, I do like having cats because I hate mice. Don't even. You got a Great Dane and a Mastiff? So you have horses too. Wyatt's been sitting in the background like, I don't got horses, man. You guys are nuts having these big hay burners, and meanwhile this guy's got flipping 2 indoor horses.
You gotta feed it half a beef.
Yeah. Not a beef farmer, but he's a big beef buyer probably. He buys a side of beef a week. Great Dane and the Mastiff. Those things are flipping massive. So new to goat farming talk. What do you raise and sell them for? So we have Nubian goats, which is a milk breed of goat. It's kind of the same as cows, right? In goats and cows, you can have like a milk breed or a meat breed. So like a cow, you can have Holstein, Jersey,
Versus.
Brown Swiss. There's multiple different milk breeds of cows, and then you have beef cows, which you've got your Charolais, like we have, Limo, Black Angus, Red Angus, Holst or Hereford.
That's what you usually your farmer.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of meat breeds of cows. So when it comes to goats, same thing. We used to have Boer goats, which is a meat breed of goats, and that's what we had was purebred Boers. There's lots of different meat breeds of goats, and now we have Nubians, which is a milk breed, and there's lots of different milk breeds of goats.
It's sort of kind of dual purpose.
But Jess is saying they're kind of a dual purpose, but they are more of a milk breed on that side of it. So
The male kids get big enough that you can eat them.
yes. So hopefully that answers your question. What do you raise and sell them for? Okay, so that's what we raise. Is we now raise the Nubians, and we sell ours for breeding stock and for small homesteads that are looking to have a milk goat. I'm sure you've heard of like the family milk cow. Back in the day, that's kind of what it was, right? Yeah, every little family, every little farm had at least one milk cow that they had, that they milked for their own use. But nowadays, families aren't as big or whatever. Yeah, a goat gives a gallon of milk a day, and obviously they're a lot smaller, a lot easier to handle, take a lot less feed, and the initial cost is usually cheaper than buying a cow. So we sell ours for breeding stock to small homesteads that are looking for a little family milk goat, and we actually, it's going to sound weird, but we actually sell some as pets. I know, don't look at me. I don't know why. It's not me. We don't buy goats as pets. If something doesn't really make us money, we don't really want it. Except for horses. But yeah, there's actually people out there that are looking to buy like a day old or a couple days old goat that like is a male that has been nutted, so he's absolutely useless, right? Like he's not going to be a breeder at all, and people pay big money just for like a bottle baby. That the only reason that you'd ever buy it is like for a companion. Anyway, there's people that do it, so whatever. I don't care if you want to buy your goat and put a leash on it and take it to the mall nearest to you. Have at it. Maybe there's like a seeing eye goat or like a calming goat. I don't know. What's that show that the kids watch? Ferdinand the Bull. If you guys have kids and you watch Ferdinand the Bull, on there's a calming goat. It's actually pretty fun, but that's anyway. They do eat well, I would imagine. My buddy had a Mastiff. Yeah. It just about killed his mom, so they ended up getting rid of it. It was like, I forget how many pounds. It was huge. I want to say it was like 200 pounds, but I could be totally off on it. It was massive. The farm I helped on had Herefords. Yeah, Herefords is one of the more, I would say, kind of common breeds. They're definitely the more well-known breeds too. Yeah, it's an older breed. It's been around forever. But I will say this: when it comes to beef breeds, there's a huge difference too in the different breeds as to what you're getting out of the cow. So, yeah, but maybe we'll leave that for another talk someday. I'm just reading through the comments here. I hear you, Barry. I hear you. Not to mention they can be a little more useful too sometimes. You got to find one that's a good cook. So you sell them for breeding stock and milkers. Yes. Yes. So hopefully I answered your question there, Tim. I know I can get a little long-winded and kind of go over the edge with my description or whatever as to what I'm talking about, but hopefully that got the point across. You know what? I don't know if you've ever had goat meat, Tim, but we did a little kid. I say little kid, that sounds weird. But we did kid goat up. And what happened was it had busted its leg and there was just no hopes for it. So we ended up getting it processed and we ate it ourselves. What great meat. That is one thing I will say about goats. They are very good tasting. Very good meat on them. But yes, Barney burgers. We had we had like ribs. I don't know that we had any burger, did we?
It was all bone in, just chops
Yeah,
and stuff. It was
chops and ribs and steaks with ribs or steaks with bone in. We didn't get any burger. So I don't know what the burger would be like. I would think it would almost be dry.
Yeah,
But I guess, I mean, especially if you're making it into Barney burgers, you could probably cut it with stuff.
it's a Barney burger.
They had a pet goat
Oh,
that was named Barney.
I got you.
And after he passed and they processed it, they made Barney burgers. My Dane is around 140 and the Mastiff close to 100. He's a mix. Oh, I see. The Dane is 140. Wow, that's a big one, eh? Wow. Do they drool much? I think the Danes, they drool quite a bit, eh? Angus always brings more down here than Herefords. Yeah, okay. So Black Angus, that is. Yeah, so from what I understand, when it comes to beef cows, I said we were probably going to touch on this on another talk, but Eminem brought it back up, so we're gonna touch back on this. So you've got let's say you got like Dexter and what's those Oreo ones?
Yep. Belted Galloway.
Belted Galloway. There's like a couple different little other breeds. Those are like, I would say, like your bottom of the barrel. Like they have their purpose. They're kind of a mini cow. They're a lot smaller than your normal beef breeds. So again, those are like for the guys that are doing a homestead or whatever, and they have they just want their own little meat or whatever. Yeah, on their acre of farmland. So there is a purpose for those. But I mean, if you're doing beef operation, like you're not going to go to any beef farm and see, like 1,000 Belted Galloways or, 2,000 Dexters. It just, you're not going to see that because they're a beef breed, but they're not like for market, if you will. And then you've kind of got your, how do I say it?
Well, Angus has been advertised. They have a good breed association, so it's advertised well. So everybody thinks Angus. That's like your high-end meat.
Yeah.
Which it's more marbled than your Charlet or Limo.
Yeah. So when she says marbled, hopefully you guys can hear. She doesn't like being on camera really. But when she says marbled, that means when the fat is engrossed into the meat. So like if you were to cut like a roast, you'd see that marbling of fat in with the meat. So you've got, I would say like your Herefords and your Angus, red Angus, black Angus. Those are kind of your, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but they're just kind of your lower end beef breeds.
They're just fatter.
Yeah, they're fatter. They're actually a little bit smaller of an animal than some of the other breeds. And then you kind of go to what would kind of be next?
Or your Charolais, Limos, Simmental, they'd all be pretty much the same. I would
Yeah.
think.
So yeah, I mean, there's kind of the two spectrums, but I mean, anyway, the thing with the bottom end ones is they're smaller, so it takes less hay to winter them. They have more marbling, which some people like.
You could breed them Charolais and have a decent calf.
Yeah, they're easier breeding, easier calving. Sorry, they usually have a little bit better temperament. So when you're dealing with them, they're maybe a little less aggressive. But then you've got your kind of your upper class breeds. But yeah, so anyway, I mean, there is a difference there. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, the Angus is definitely going to bring more than Herefords. And like Jess said, that's a lot to do with just Angus has been advertised over the years a lot more. You go to McDonald's, the Angus burger, just different things like that. So, but yeah. I agree about the taste, but the children struggle with the pasture picture on the bun. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, got to go. It's getting close to my bedtime. It's been a pleasure, you guys. Later and all the best. Thanks for stopping by, Barry. Once again, much appreciated. Glad to have a guy in here like you that has lots of knowledge. So glad that you could stop by. Oh, really? They're that bad? Okay. So they're definitely droolers. Yeah. Pretty sure Tim means the kids have trouble eating a pet. They can't bear to eat something so. Oh, I got you. I got you. Well, that's all right. That's all right. It's good for kids to be kids. But yeah. So anyway, kid goats. Yeah. So we got them here. Everything's going good with them. We've had them, since Sunday, and no issues with them. There shouldn't be any issues. Like I said, they came from a farm that was all tested, and everything should be totally fine with them. But just as an extra precautionary, we do have them separated right now, and probably will be for the next couple weeks. So, but anyway, other than that, nothing real new on the farm. Let me see. Yeah, I think I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the chat tonight. Calves, we got our cows starting to calve. The first one is due next Friday. So, I mean, they could go either way. It could be earlier in the week, or it could be, who knows, could be another week. It's hard to say. But we've been keeping an eye on them, checking them, and they definitely are showing more signs. Every few days you go out. Oh, we're out there every day, but every few days you do notice a difference from the previous days. So they are definitely getting closer to calving. But yeah. And so for us on the farm, we go calving, and then that usually brings us into right into spring. And spring brings spreading fertilizer and harrowing the fields. And that usually brings us right up to just a couple weeks before haying season. So usually it's pulling stuff out of the implement sheds and greasing, oiling. There's a few repairs always to be done. I know this year I got a few repairs to do on the swather, and yeah, so then that usually takes us right into haying season, and haying season can really be up and down as to how long it lasts or how much work there is, how many breakdowns there is. And yeah, and then that just kind of snowballs, keeps us going right through, yeah, till fall. And then there's fall field work and just a whole bunch of other stuff. And that takes us right back into winter, which is hunting and trapping season. So yeah, it's good. But yeah, we're definitely just starting to go into our busier time of year. So we have, I think it's 14 cows to calve, which I know it's not a huge number, but it's the number that we have, and it works for us. So yeah, we got 14 cows to calve. We've got a couple calves tied in the barn, and I think that's it. So yeah, it should be a good year. That is enough. It really is. It's a good number for us, I would say. We seem to enjoy it, so it works out. But yeah, so anyway, it's getting late here. So once again, I couldn't tell you when we're going to be going live next, but it's been working out here pretty good, once a week kind of thing. Definitely been really enjoying it. And I mean, I just about didn't come on tonight. My buddy called me half an hour before I was supposed to come on here, and I possibly could have went and done some stuff with him. So he was going to pick up some stuff, and but anyway, I came on here. So I mean, again, it's just going into a busier time of year, and yeah, so it's going to get harder and harder to do these lives, but we'll definitely try and do them, once a week or whatever. So thanks for stopping by, Wyatt. Take care. Yes, and we will see everybody, yeah, another time. And hit us up on Facebook, and make sure you guys check and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, ciao. See you later, Tim. Thanks for stopping by. You're welcome.